Before we talk about overcoming lust, let's look at a young man who had everything he needed to succeed. A young man to whom God had shown in a dream that he would be elevated, honored, placed above his brothers. He carried an extraordinary destiny. But before experiencing this elevation, he had to go through a long path of suffering, rejected by those who should have supported him, sold as a slave, torn from his family. He found himself alone in Egypt, in a foreign country, without bearings, without a temple, without a spiritual family. And as he simply tried to live righteously and faithfully, a new trial arose before him. Day after day, his master's wife began to harass him. It wasn't a simple flirt or an isolated incident. It was a constant, repeated, insidious attack. She called him, watched him, insisted. He could have given in. Who would have known? He had no one around him, no parents, no pastor, no one to remind him of the path to follow. But that's where Joseph showed his true strength. He responded with a phrase that testifies to his spiritual consciousness. How then could I do such a great evil and sin against God? Genesis 39:9. And he fled. He didn't try to resist by arguing. He didn't negotiate with temptation. He literally ran away, leaving his cloak behind, but keeping his integrity. What Joseph experienced isn't just an old Bible story. It's a mirror of what men and women who want to walk with God still experience today. Temptation, desire, lust, these silent but powerful traps continue to lurk, especially around those who carry a calling. But Joseph didn't resist simply because he was strong. He understood that this fight wasn't just a struggle of the flesh, it was a spiritual war. And it was this revelation that saved him. What if I told you that this same war continues today? That those who are set apart, called, chosen, are often the most violently attacked in this area? But why? Why are those who carry an anointing so often confronted with this inner struggle? Stay with me because I'm going to share 5 deep, often overlooked reasons why the fight against lust is so intense for those who carry a great destiny. Some will truly surprise you. If this message speaks to you, subscribe now and share it with those around you. Every like, every comment, every share is a way to spread the truth and break the silence around these struggles. Together, let's build a strong, honest, and spiritually equipped community. Many people think that lust, uncontrolled desires, or impure thoughts are merely human weaknesses, simple fleeting impulses, a lack of discipline or self-control. But in reality, this struggle is much deeper than it appears. It's not just a battle of the flesh. What you're experiencing might seem physical or emotional, but it's actually an invisible, targeted, and spiritually strategic war. The Bible opens our eyes to this in Ephesians 6:12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. You see, it's not just a simple weakness to manage. It's not a random battle. The enemy doesn't shoot aimlessly. He aims with precision. He targets those who are called, those who carry the light, those whose lives threaten the darkness. And in this strategy, lust becomes a weapon, not just a trap. It is used to divert, delay, and weaken. Because if the enemy can trap you in guilt, isolate you in silence, exhaust you in a cycle of falling and shame, then he can stifle your spiritual authority. And what makes this war even more dangerous is that it often plays out in secret. Shame, the fear of being judged, the feeling of being alone. All of this pushes you to hide, to say nothing, to carry this burden without help, without prayer, without light. But listen closely. You are not alone. What you are going through is not a personal curse. It is a targeted attack against your calling, an attack that precisely proves that what you carry is precious. And simply recognizing this is already reclaiming territory. Now that you see what's happening behind the scenes, it's time to understand why this attack is so frequent, so intense, and so precisely directed at you. It's time to discover why it targets you with such intensity. Here are 5 hidden truths that explain this silent war against those called to a great destiny. 1. A sensitive armor. When your spirit awakens to God, you become more sensitive. You perceive His presence more clearly, but also the enemy's traps with greater intensity. What others don't even notice, your spirit detects. This sensitivity is a blessing, but if it's not protected, it becomes a vulnerability, and the devil knows exactly how to exploit it. 2. A sacred solitude. Being set apart also means walking alone. It's the price of a true calling. But in this solitude, when you lack solid anchors or authentic relationships, temptation slips into the silences. It whispers when no one is looking, and it settles in where isolation becomes too heavy to bear. 3. The weight of the anointing. The greater your calling, the higher a priority target you are. The enemy isn't fighting against your present. He's fighting against your future. He knows what you could become, and he seeks to stop you before you get there. And for that, he uses his best weapon. Lust, subtle, progressive, paralyzing. 4. Open wounds. Many called individuals carry deep wounds within them. Rejection, betrayal, abandonment, lack of love. And these pains become entry points. So the enemy offers lust as a sweet but false solution. What begins as a refuge becomes an inner prison. 5. A strong spirit, a weak flesh. You can be anointed, preach, prophesy, but if your spirit isn't nourished, the flesh will take over. This battle isn't won with talents. It's won through discipline, prayer, fasting, the presence of God. Without these, even the strongest fall. Now tell me in the comments, which of these truths resonates with you the most? Your answer could enlighten, free, and strengthen someone else.